Alright, well, hello everybody. Today I'm going to be working on this metal detector here. This is a Fisher M-scope M66 valve and box locator. This is mainly used for picking up steel objects in the ground. But well, let me show you what it's doing. All right. Well, with nothing around the detector here, go ahead. The sound warning, you know, this might be loud, but when I turn it on, it just says this. Now, it's got some dials up here. This is your on-off switch and your different dial codes right here, and then you've got your tuning up top here, increase and decrease, and then battery test when it's working. But usually that tuning right here fixes that that always on problem. Now, I've worked on these in the past. This is actually for work, and I've worked on these in the past for work, and I fixed these. Since then, you know, we got new ones. This is actually a combination of two of the old ones put together, and I've been using this as my own personal metal detector. Now, the reason why I'm doing this on camera is I kind of wanted to talk about respect. You know, respecting other people's property, you know, your work's property. You know, if you're going to borrow something, you know, give it back in as good or better condition, or at least, you know, pay back the person for any damages or anything like that. I mean, you probably can't do it right away, but, you know, have the intent to do it at least. And I bring this up because I'm just coming back from court, and it had nothing to do with this. No, I let my sister borrow a truck that I was selling until it sold. I was letting her borrow it, and then she decided that she was gonna let other people borrow it. Well, she trusted the wrong person to borrow that truck, and this other person ends up stealing it. All right. So that's why I had to go to court. You know, I'm the victim in this case, not my sister. You know, she hasn't paid me anything. She was borrowing it for 2 or 3 months, and you know, I'm out about $100 in repo fee. What do you call that? Impound fees. About $100 for them to tow it back to the impound yard, and for me to come pick it up, sign it off. You know, that took time out of my work day whenever I had to go get that. You know, that's essentially money out of my pocket. You know, I had to sign a thing today stating any money that I'm out, you know, any damages, like money that I'm out of pocket for any of this. And I actually forgot the impound fees on the list. But, you know, when this individual stole the truck, you know, it's got a very distinguishing two-tone color. And I posted on Facebook, hey, everybody, keep a lookout for this truck. So what does this individual do? They go out and buy 3, 4, 5 cans of black spray paint, and they spray paint the truck. So now that I got the truck back, it's covered in spray paint, and I can't sell it in the condition that it's in for what I was wanting. So I've had to take, you know, and the interior was damaged, but you know, it's an old truck and it had some slight damage, but it wasn't damaged this bad. But you know, they wanted me to estimate on how much repairs would be. So I gave them an estimate on fixing a little bit of the interior, but mainly it's the spray paint on that on the vehicle that just irks me. You know, it's I've seen tutorials on how to take it off, and they got different kinds of products to take it off, but there's no guarantee that it's all going to come off or anything like that. So I essentially have to sand the whole thing down and repaint it if I want it to look nice enough to sell, or I have to drop it down about $1,000 less than what I was asking for it. So right now I just dropped it down $1,000 less and hope that I get back some of the money from the courts. You know, that they might tell them. Alright, well, so far we've got one loose wire here. So that doesn't seem so horrible. Alright, let's go ahead and throw a couple of these batteries back in here. Alright, anything metal around it? Yeah, the screwdrivers. Alright. Alright, so it looks like this wire probably goes to this tuning knob right here. See, I've got 3 different connections on here, but only 2 wires are connected. So let me go ahead and, well, let's strip this wire back. This type of wire doesn't like to roll too easy. Now, since we're on the subject of respect, remember, respect your tools. You know, this is a razor knife. It's extremely sharp. You know, sharp as a razor, obviously. And it can cut you and hurt you. But after you show respect to your tools, you can figure out what it can do and what you can do with it. See, that was touching my fingers, but I'm not cut. You know, respect your tools. So, well, I'm not out anything on the well, yeah, I am, but I'm not out anything on the truck necessarily. It was recovered. The police apprehended him, and I got it back. Went to the impound, paid $100, got it back. You know, I had to drive 40 miles to go get it. Had to borrow somebody's car trailer to go get it. Had to use my gas, my time from work. So I was at court today as a witness / victim of the crime. I've never even met the person that stole it. You know, it was stolen from my sister's friend, or probably not her friend anymore. So I really don't know the person, but so they keep coming back out of the courtroom. You know, they don't need me in there because they went ahead and did a plea bargain. You know, they get a 2-year deferred sentence. So that's their punishment. If they mess up again, then they're going to be in trouble. But they didn't say anything about whether or not I'll get paid for, you know, to have my truck fixed, or you know, any other fees that I should be reimbursed for. They just gave me a piece of paper, said, all right, fill this out and we'll see what we can do. Alright, so I stripped that wire back. I'm just manually touching it to that third pin over here on this tuning knob. Let's Alright, well, I got it turned on and it's not making noise. That's a good sign. Maybe I put the batteries in backwards. I don't know. Alright, let's take a metal object here, my knife, and let's try to detect it. Oh yeah, yep. So by that, now I know that this wire goes to that tuning knob right here. That get really annoying. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and get my soldering iron out here. So the reason why I thought it was a good idea to bring up respect on that, talking about my truck being stolen, is because, you know, these metal detectors aren't treated with respect at work. You know, it is an electronics piece of equipment, and when they're done with it, they just throw it on the ground, throw it in the back of the truck. You know, they throw other things on top of it, like shovels and rakes and things like that. They just don't respect their equipment. You know, I went online to find out how much these things are. $533. You know, that is a lot for a metal detector. I bought a little toy one from Aldi a while back. Cost me $40, and that thing worked great. You know, how much better do you think a $533 metal detector, how much better do you think it is than that $40 one that I got? You know, just when you're not respecting tools, especially on the job, you know, you think, oh, it's somebody else's problem. It's their stuff. You know, I don't have to worry about it. Well, I mean, you're just gonna end up making your job harder for yourself, harder for other people. You know, just because you think that you work for a big and rich company, you know, it takes time, money, effort. You know, if you keep breaking their stuff, guess what? You're not going to get any more of them. You know, they're going to say, oh, well, they didn't respect this one. Why should we get them another one? You know, these things, you know, I don't know if you caught that whenever I had it in my hand earlier, but these things are numbered. This was assigned to a truck, to a vehicle. This is the one that they're supposed to have. So whenever they know that they're supposed to have one on that vehicle and it gets broken, and more than one gets broken on that vehicle, well, somebody's going to be accounted for it. You know, do you make enough money at your job that you can just throw away $533 replacing something that you didn't respect? I don't. You know, that's a mortgage payment for me. You know, do I want to go homeless for a month just because I couldn't respect somebody else's equipment, somebody else's belongings? You know, I grew up poor. I grew up with 6 kids in the family. I got two brothers and 3 sisters. So there's 3 boys, 3 girls. You know, it's a blended family. So I had a stepsister and a stepbrother in that. But, you know, we all grew up. We were all brothers and sisters. You know, we're family. You know, we all respected each other's things. You know, there was a time that my sister stole my bike because she didn't have one. She wanted to go sneak out at night. I didn't find out about it until, you know, years later that what had happened. They all kept it secret from me. But the bike was returned without any damage. So even though she, let's say, borrowed it, she didn't steal it, let's just say she borrowed it, you know, she returned it. It was returned the next morning after she was done with it. You know, it doesn't cost any fuel to operate, you know. but the respect was there that it was somebody else's property, and they gave it back. You know, there was nothing malicious about her borrowing the bikes, just sneaking out. Something that teenagers do. You know, most bikes are stolen around here. I mean, them kids ain't never getting their bikes back. But they're not usually stolen from a brother or sister. Oh, this is a different sister, by the way, that stole the bike, rather than letting somebody else borrow my vehicle without permission. Yeah, the courts, they lessened the sentence. They said, well, you know, you had the keys, you're a friend of the person that was borrowing it, so maybe you were given permission to borrow it, but you just never returned it. So instead of stolen, they just went ahead and chalked that up to joyriding. Well, she was joyriding it for a week or two, and then the property damage to it, spray painting it and a different color to disguise it so that people can't find her. You know, that to me screams stolen. I don't know, I'm getting off subject, and you know, the entire point of this whole thing, you know. Oh, that's what I was getting at with growing up poor. You know, with 6 kids in the family, you know, one parent working in the oil fields, not making much, you know, an hourly wage. You know, Christmas comes around, you're lucky to get, you know, one toy a year. So I made a habit of going out and picking up toys that were being thrown away. And a lot of times they were perfectly good toys. Other times, you know, they had some kind of small thing that needed to be repaired on them. And that's kind of how I got into repairing things like this, you know. It's something this simple, just one little loose wire can make or break a kid's Christmas. You know, people want their 100% perfectness with their toys. You know, whether it be video game or action figure, or I even have the 3D printer. You know, people want 100% on their stuff. And, you know, you kind of get what you pay for. You know, you think that toy was a little expensive, that action figure was a little expensive at $30. You know, I bought my kid a $30 Buzz Lightyear last week. It hardly does anything. You know, this is a toy from Walmart. You know, it's got that spring-loaded karate chop action. It doesn't work with the button on the back. You know, that's completely worthless. It doesn't come with the dome, the shield visor over the top of his head. Doesn't come with that. The elbows and knees don't articulate. The waist just twists and the head twists. And, you know, the hands barely move around like this. You know, there's hardly anything to that toy at all. But $30, you know, because there's hardly anything to that, $30 is a lot for that. But because I understand injection molding and all the practice and the thought and everything that actually went into that, you know, that was a pretty good bargain. You know, you get what you pay for. You know, imagine if everything was articulated in that. You know, it didn't even have sound. What if it had sound? You know, that would have been $100 toy. And I'd have gladly paid for a fully articulated, sound-activated toy for $100. You know, I think I looked up the one from Disney. It wasn't all that special either. But it was it was better than what the one that I got. But, you know, I don't have that money to spend on my kid like that. And you know, with a 3D printer, I do plan on making him a fully articulated Buzz Lightyear toy one of these days. And he was just absolutely excited about that. You know, for a $30 toy. Alright, let's go ahead and turn this on and see if it works. Alright. No sound. Let's find something metal. Oh yeah, I'd say that works. So, you know, what it comes down to, respect other people's stuff, whether it's, you know, your work tools, you know, you borrow a tool from a friend, you know, fix it, replace it, you know, just treat it with respect. We'll have a good time, you know, enjoying each other's companies. That's how you make friends. That's why they let you borrow something, because you're their friend, employee, whatever. You know, when you keep handing something in that's broken, you know, they got to blame somebody, and the money's got to come from somewhere. So, you know, don't be the one that they got to blame. You know, if accidents happen, let them know. Don't hide it. All right? You know, that's one of the biggest things that happens at my work, is that people hide the accident. They don't tell anybody about it, so whenever comes time that they absolutely need to have it, well, guess what? It's broken, but nobody knew it was broken but you. You know? Just respect other people's things. Alright? Alright, this has been far from finished. I'm finished with this project. I hope you're far from finished also. Just keep working on your projects. And, you know, tell me about a toy that you fixed and got working whenever you were a kid. I'd love to hear about those kinds of stories. You know, just because it wasn't the best thing whenever you got it doesn't mean it can't be. Alright? Alright. I think I'm done ranting for today. Alright, you have a good day. Bye.